To start, Jace doesn't make his start on Friday. Is that an injury concern? Do you expect him to pitch in this Washington series coming up?
Well, we didn't announce Jace as a starter last week. We announced Leo Ullman as a starter last week, and so he didn't get scratched as a starter. He got backed up. We took him on the trip, hoping that he'd be ready to pitch by Sunday. He actually threw in the bullpen on Sunday and thought that he may be able to go, but we thought that it wouldn't be responsible to pitch him last weekend. And so we brought him to be able to help bring him back, right, to try to get him back into the mix as soon as we can get him back in the mix. He's so valuable. And so it's a day-to-day thing with him. And as soon as we can get him back out there, we're going to get him back out there.
Did he throw a bullpen this week?
Yeah, he threw a bullpen yesterday.
Feel good? Come out okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it came out good, but I don't think he's not 100% yet. His arm's fine. It's just it's a different kind of a deal I don't want to get into, but it's when he's ready to go, he's going to be out there, and when he's not ready to go and it's not responsible for him to be out there, we're not going to pitch him. So as soon as we can get him back out there, we want him back out there for sure. He's obviously really good.
What made you go with Leo Ullman then for that Friday game?
We had a situation last week with Pace and Spoljaric with higher pitch counts from the midweek games. And so we felt like Leo would have been our best chance to, give us, we weren't looking for a 5-7 inning start. We were just looking to get us out of the blocks and be able to kind of pass the baton and have a bullpen day on the first day of that series. Felt like Logan throwing on game 2 could possibly save bullpen pieces to where we could utilize our bullpen, rest our bullpen, and utilize our bullpen. And that's what went into that decision. It didn't work out for us.
What do you take from Logan's start? They had the best start over the weekend. It's a good hitting team in USC. Just what do you take from that?
Yeah, we thought that USC's team did the best job so far of the year on just making adjustments. What did I take away from his start? I think he's a competitor. I think he's a really good pitcher. We're blessed to have him. Obviously you're looking for the quality of start. The more quality starts, the better off you are. The other guys that we've been starting outside of when Jace starts have basically been freshmen. And that's been, like you would expect freshmen to go. Some weeks it looks fantastic, other weeks it doesn't. So we're just looking to hopefully get the consistency better and better as we move forward.
And what'd you take from Graben on Sunday? And kind of the first time he's been hit around like that, and it pretty much all came with 2 outs.
Yeah, it did all come with 2 outs, and so there were a lot of takeaways from that. We got a chance to be able to break him down on tape with Matthew. He got a chance to see his outing. He got a chance to see a lot of the things that were good or bad about that outing, and that's only going to help him for sure this coming weekend.
A week ago, you said you wanted to see your team play with a reckless nature in there against USC compared to coming off that Oregon State loss. Did you see it from your team?
Not at the level that we're looking for. No, not quite. In spurts, yes, but not as a whole quite yet. No.
How do you try to get your guys to get there, and not just in spurts, but to go all 3 games?
Well, that's a complicated question, and it obviously goes back to the drawing board at practices, and it really is the investment in the relationships piece and what we're about. And really getting back to the drawing board at practice to where we can button up some loose ends. Offensively, you just take it and you go offense, defense, and pitching, and you try to separate those things and try to assess your strengths and weaknesses in those areas, and then, just build off the strengths and try to improve the weaknesses.
Offensively, one of those strengths was Sabine Ceballos. He comes back in the lineup for you guys. DHs, they could get 6 or 7 hits this weekend. Yep. Just how much does that help your lineup, and how much did you miss him?
Yeah, it's massive. You'd love his, Drew Smith did a great job at third base, but you're talking about an intangible piece when you got a guy like Sabine that's not actually on the field for you. Mm-hmm. A maturity piece, and when you've got young pitchers out there pitching, you're looking for as many maturity pieces as you can to be able to help them through their outings. And so, not being able to have Sabine on the playing field, even though you get him back as a DH, which is huge, it's still, you're still losing a leadership piece out there from Sabine. And so the quicker we can get him back on the field, I think the younger pitchers specifically, and all the pitchers really, would benefit from his presence.
Do you expect him to play this weekend? And if so, is it going to be more in that DH role?
Well, at least in the DH. And again, as soon as we can get him back out there, and we want him back out there for sure.
Another injury question. You've talked a lot this year about Isaac Ayon going to be pitching at some point this season. You got 6 more games left. Is there anticipation that he comes back in one of those 6 games?
There is, and he's got I believe it's another bullpen either today or tomorrow. Every test that he's had, he's passed with flying colors, which has been great. This weekend is kind of a TBA. There's a chance that he could be active for this weekend. Definitely as the schedule holds for the following weekend versus Utah. And the usage there, obviously when a guy's just coming back into the mix, it would probably be a pretty limited deal until he can get built up. But the good news is that it looks like worst case scenario is 2 weeks out versus Utah right now. Knock on wood that's the case, or maybe even if we get some better news than that this coming weekend. But it's a little too early to tell quite yet.
That potential better news, would that come after this bullpen that he's going to throw this week, or is that just going to be...
These things are all day to day. When you're dealing with some of the, I don't know if it's nicks and cuts, but when you're not dealing with a major deal, or you're dealing with a rehab type situation where Isaac's been in, there's a schedule that Isaac's been following, and on that schedule, you don't want to inject the guy in there and be irresponsible. You want to make sure that you stick with the plan, and we have stuck with that plan. He's done a great job with it. He's passionate. He wants back out there more than anybody, and that's great. And so, any of the guys that are injury pieces, and there's a lot of them, but still yet, you just kind of look at it and you go day to day. And as soon as you get the information from the medical side that says, yeah, this guy can go and this is what he can do, then they're in. It's not a question about, do you want to use a guy like Ceballos or Stoffel or Aon or anything like that. It's absolutely we do. And whenever you guys allow us to do it, we're going to utilize those guys in a responsible manner.
With Aon, obviously it's big what he brings from a performance standpoint, but just getting him out there as a leader and kind of a veteran, just how much of a boost is that at this point?
Huge boost, and even when he's around the ball club and, he's doing his defensive work and stuff like that yesterday. I mean, just a massive presence. I mean, he's a great looking kid to start with, great leader, tough kid. And to have him and his energy out there, I mean, you can feel the other guys feeding off of it. And so the sooner, obviously, we can get him back into the mix, the better for the morale of the club and the performance, that he's going to be able to provide us. It'd be a really a great shot in the arm at the right time.
Earlier today, you guys were announced that you participate in the 2024 the Shriners Children College Baseball Showcase with Oklahoma Tech and other programs, Baylor, I think. Just what does that mean for you guys going forward, getting that, kind of a prestigious award to start the season out there in Globe Life Park and add to your non-con?
Well, we've always been a strong RPI scheduling team, and we take a lot of time into scheduling. And so, all the way down to the Xaviers of the world who are doing very, very well, Santa Barbara's of the world, any of the teams that we schedule. A year ago, Ball State, when they were a non-conference game in the middle of the year, we're trying to stack our schedule with the best available non-conference RPIs that we can possibly have. And so to get invited to a tournament like that, great question. What you're referring to, that means that those guys are looking at us as a program clearly on the rise and clearly with players that are going to be wanted to be seen by big crowds in that environment at the Texas Rangers ballpark. And so for us to get the honor to be invited to that, it's great. It means the program is definitely going forward. And for us to be able to start our season out there and play against great clubs and all that kind of stuff, it's only going to help us down the stretch for years to come, but specifically next year.
This weekend, Washington, another rivalry series. Just overall, they've been a high octane offense team.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, what have you seen?
Yeah, high octane offense. I just have been impressed with their pitching. I think there's at least 3 guys as starters and 3 guys as bullpen guys in that mix that have thrown the ball really, really well. They've been consistent. They're playing as well as anybody in the league right now. The guys that they're going to start, 2 of them are going to get big time scouting interest on Friday and Saturday night at least. It's a great test for us. They're a program on the rise, and they've done a nice job. And they've been a very offensive group here recently. They kind of do it in their own way, which is that they're not afraid to get their swings in for sure. I think they've won either 7 out of their last 8 or 8 out of the last 9. They've done a really nice job, and so we're going to need to be up to the test.
Have you coached against a guy with a cooler name than Lord Kiefer, their Friday night guy?
Well, Lord Kiefer's got a great arm. Anytime you're running the ball from 94 to 98 miles an hour with a good breaking ball, that's pretty good.
It is Wednesday. Have you figured out who your Sunday starter is going to be this week?
Going into a meeting about that. We haven't even discussed all the starters. So, yeah, we're going into a meeting right now. I would imagine you're going to see, Logan Mercado, and you're probably going to see, I'm not sure about the other two spots yet. I'll check with Coach Angier and see what he wants to do. Some of that's going to be pending on Jace, though, and we'll get more information on him as the week goes. And so far, it's been trending in the right direction, and there's been improvement, which is great.
Drew Cali was able to continue his offensive production over the weekend. I know you talked about him after he's won national recognitions earlier this season, but what kind of mental fortitude does it take when he's out there, especially over this weekend, when your team's doing well, when your team's struggling, he's out there continuing to deliver at the plate?
Well, the kid's a stud, and one of the messages we had for our team yesterday was, a week ago, we've got the national pitcher of the week, or the conference pitcher and the conference hitter of the week, and everybody, all the writers are loving you, and you're getting ranked higher, and this, that, and the other, and then this week they hate you because you didn't play great. So neither week is probably real. It's probably somewhere in the middle, and Drew's been a guy that's been able to stay in the middle no matter if you're going good or you're not going as good as you want to go. So just that consistency, the consistency with him, the consistency with Tanner Smith breaking the last record that he just broke in terms of being, I think it was consecutive starts or something like that, which is a tremendous record to be able to break. The consistency piece is really the answer in college baseball because it's a long season and you're not going to play great for every single week. And just having the perspective to know that you're going to have your ups and downs and that you're going to need to bounce back after you have a down, or you're going to need to be able to sustain it when you have a good, exciting week. Drew Cali and some of these guys have been able to manage that very, very well. And that's the huge piece of that one. So to take the older guys with Cali and Grant and Smith and these kind of guys to be able to help those younger guys understand that this thing isn't about one weekend. It's about consistency and improving every day. That leadership is really the value in those guys.
This is senior weekend. It's going to be a very special class here at Oregon for your senior day. Just what have these guys, Tanner Smith, Drew Cali, Malaris, even he's just been here for this year. Just what are some of the things that this class means to you and means to the program overall? Yeah,
and there's other guys too that are graduating early. You got Betcher, who's graduated after a couple of years. He's probably, I think he's choosing not to be honored because of other reasons and stuff like that. But still, him and all these kids, look at what they've done so far, and that's what I've said to them. And outside of that shortened COVID season, each and every year that we've been here, we came in here at the same time Gavin Grant came in here, and so guys like that, each season they've played here, they've been in postseason play. They're going to be able to walk out to that ballpark, whether they're married or not down the road, and look at those banners and look at the years of the teams that they played on and know that the teams that they played on, they were in postseason play each and every year. And we're not there yet this year. We still got some work to do, and the guys know that. But the one thing that I know that's going to motivate them is every day when they walk out there and they see the years of being in postseason play out there and them being on those teams, they know that that's a big deal this year. And to be able to continue that string, continue that thing going, they're the ones who are building this, and we're taking steps forward. I'd love to be able to take huge running steps at times forward, and at times we've been able to do that and we take a step backwards, but that's naturally college baseball right now. And I'm just happy that there's progress being made. And this senior class has been a huge, huge reason why there's progress being made. Yeah.
Ricky Nishida this weekend broke the single season stolen base record and hit the home run that broke the team home run record. Just how nice is it to have such a spark plug at the top of the lineup, especially someone who's even hit with a little bit of power. 5 homers this year.
Again, Greg, the guys on this team are awesome. Like when you're coaching guys like this and you're not dealing with issues away from the field, and they just are great to be around every day. It doesn't happen like that every year in your coaching career. You don't have locker rooms that are this fun to be around the guys every single day. Even when you have a bad week, to get together with them the next day is something that, like, every week I know every coach has looked forward to doing because they're genuine, and even getting in there with them today here in just a little bit in the weight room, these guys are killing it. These guys want it so bad, and at times maybe too bad, and so sometimes them getting in their own ways is just the reason that the reason why is because they want it so bad, and And that's probably the place that the coaching staff can help them maybe the most, is just to help them have a path forward to the success they're working for. So great class. Love these guys. They're a lot of fun to be around, and we're just looking to finish strong.